Hi and welcome or welcome back to The Books Are Everywhere. So it is Monday, it is the start of a new weekly reading vlog. I would usually actually be at uni on a Monday, but it is bank holiday today, meaning there is no classes. So the class I usually have right about now is not happening today. So I'm at home, have a day off, which is really nice. I'm seeing my friend Andrew later. I went for a run this morning and I have had a bath, and I've actually read solidly in the day for the first time in a long time, it feels. I just don't seem to get the time to read in the day anymore, and I probably should also be doing uni work right now rather than doing this. But, you know, I've had a really nice relaxing morning. I feel accomplished because I've been on my long run on a Monday morning again, which is great. And yeah, so I'm actually kind of grateful that I can have this day today, but in my long reading session I finished We Were Liars, so I've already knocked out a book for May. I was wondering whether to count this for May or for April, but I read most of it in May over the past 2 days, so I'm going to count it for May. So yeah, it's the 2nd of the month and I've already read a book. I have to say, I read this I don't know how long ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago. I had completely forgotten how this ended. Which I'm glad about because it made it really enjoyable, because I just didn't really know where it was going. I felt like I was reading it again for the first time and I really enjoyed it. I did give it 5 stars when I read it before. I'm going to give it 4 stars this time. I think obviously I've read a lot of books since then and my tastes have changed a bit. It does read quite YA, so I probably did also enjoy it when I was a teenager myself a bit more, but I still really enjoyed this and I can see why this has gotten so popular again, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where Family of Liars goes, which I'm hoping to start today. So yeah, I'm quite glad I read this. This is a YA psychological thriller. It's set on an island where this family goes on holiday every year, a big extended family, and all of the cousins go to this island. And the main character, Katie, something happened to her a couple of years before, 2 years before, and she doesn't remember what happened. She just knows that something happened, and this is basically her going back to the island a couple years later and trying to remember what happened to her. And you kind of go on that process, so you don't know until the very end what actually happened, and it's very tense, and the chapters are so short, most of them are just a couple of pages long, that you just want to keep reading. It's so easy to read and so quick, which I really loved. So yeah, definitely addictive. I'm glad I reread this one, so I think it's one of those books that I didn't know how I would feel about it so many years later. I know that my reading tastes have changed quite a bit, so I was a little hesitant going into it, but I'm glad I reread it, so success for my first book of May. I've also been reading The Gifts That Bind Us by Caroline O'Donoghue, which is the second book to All Our Hidden Gifts, by the same author, and this is basically a kind of tarot witchy series set in Ireland, and it follows Maeve, who accidentally reads this bad tarot card, or has a bad tarot reading with her ex-best friend in the first book, and her ex-best friend goes missing, and then it kind of goes on from there. It is again quite mysterious. Obviously I can't say too much about this book because it is the second book in the series, but I love the atmosphere of this, and I've got to say that for We Were Liars as well. I felt so drawn into the story in the sense of the height of summer, the mystery around this island. I feel it was captured so well in so few words, really. This is quite a short book and there's not that many words in it. I felt that really captured the atmosphere really well, and the same for The Gifts That Bind Us. This has such a dark academia feel I didn't really think about when I read the first book, but now I'm reading this one I can really feel it's very kind of dark academia, which I really like. And yeah, it's really interesting. There is also a couple of characters in here who are kind of exploring their gender identity, and it's kind of written about quite well. I do remember having a few reservations in how it was written about in the first book, but if I'm remembering correctly, they're kind of being discussed in more detail now, which I appreciate. I also like how this book does occasionally just drop in things that happened in the first one, which is very useful because I did not remember everything, and then something will be said and I'll be oh yeah, that happened. I definitely remember enough to be reading this one, but it's like just on the cusp, so I'm glad that they have those like little reminders. So I am also reading this on an audiobook, so I read it while I was running this morning, and I will be reading a chunk of it later while I drive to Mark's for work tomorrow. So yeah, really enjoying the audiobook. Also read by an Irish narrator, which I really like, and I would highly recommend the audiobook for this one. If you want to read the series, if you like things like The Raven Boys, I would definitely recommend this series. It's got that same kind of like creepy feeling, but it's more Irish, I guess. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I don't know if there's going to be more in the series. I need to look that up because I am interested, but also worried because I don't want to forget what happens in this one, because I don't know if there is a third one. I have a feeling there isn't, but I know I could be wrong, so I don't know. But yeah, also the rest of the week, what I'm going to be reading and things, I have a lot of books on my May TBR. Oh dear. On my May TBR that I need to read, and I'm not sure exactly where to go. But for now, I am reading Noah's Gold by Frank Cottrell Boyce, which I am about halfway through, just under halfway through. Really enjoying this. It's a kid's adventure story, and it's so funny. It's so like adventure, fast-paced. It's about a boy who stows away on his sister's geography field trip, and they end up deserted on an island off the coast of Wales, I think. I know that the other book I've read by Frank Cottrell Boyce was set in North Wales, and I have a feeling that it's also set off the coast of North Wales. But it's basically about him writing letters home to his parents, and it's really humorous. I really like it, so I'm going to carry on reading this week. Also, as I said, I'm going to be reading Family of Liars starting today. I'm going to be reading The Gifts That Bind Us, and I will pick up another book, hopefully, at some point this week. There is a lot of stuff that I need to read this month, so I will pick something else up as well. Jo was saying to me that I need to read the audiobook of Piranesi, because she's read the audiobook 3 times, and she said if I can read it on audio, read it on audio. So I'm going to try and hunt down a copy of that, because it's not on Scribd or Zigzag that I usually use, so don't know. But I would really like to take Jo's advice and listen to it on audio now she said that. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm actually gonna film some videos this afternoon, even though I should really do some uni work. I will do some uni work as well, and then I'm gonna see Andrew later, so that'll be really nice. So yeah, I will speak to you soon. Hi, it is Thursday. I've had a big day. I had a presentation. I did a presentation this morning at uni. I had a work meeting this afternoon. It has been a very busy day, but I'm home now and I have some book mail that I came back to, which is exciting. I am still reading Family of Liars, which I am quite enjoying actually, and I'm weirdly enjoying reading on my Kindle, because I just don't really read on my Kindle unless I have a NetGalley ARC, and I don't really read a lot of NetGalley ARCs, so I don't like, unless I really want something, then I don't tend to read ebooks, unless I like specifically ebooks. So it's nice actually just to like have something really light that I can just carry around everywhere and like read in bed really easily, read in the bath really easily and stuff. So I'm quite enjoying that. Also quite enjoying what's it called? The Gifts That Bind Us. That one's quite good as well. So yeah, having some good reading, and I came back to this book mail. So let's unwrap this. So the first one is from Waterstones, and it is Book of Night by Holly Black. This is one of the books that I pre-ordered at the end of last week, and I did like a big pre-order session, and I pre-ordered this, which came out a couple of days ago, 3rd of May I think it was that it came out. This is very, very pretty. It's also shorter than I expected, but I've seen people's photos of it. But yeah, the type is quite small in there inside, but I'm quite excited to read this one. Amy said she's been reading it and quite enjoying it. That's what it's like underneath. Yeah, I've never read anything by Holly Black, but I do have all of the Cruel Prince series up there in hardback, so it'll be nice to have this to kind of match it. I do really like this edition as well. I really like the spine, and the black and the sprayed edges are really pretty. So I have that one, and I also have something from Blackwell's, which I'm quite excited for, but I don't know if it's going to be the edition I quite want. So we'll find out together. And this is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Powell. It is the edition I wanted, so I ordered this because I knew it had these flowers under the cover, and I really wanted them. I really wanted this edition. It's very pretty, and this one I've heard a lot about, and I know it sold out on pre-order like very soon after it came out. It was just really hard to get anywhere, and it is quite hard to get in the UK anyway, because it's by Wednesday Books, which is an American publisher. So I found one online for not too much money. I found it on Alibris and bought it through Blackwell's on Alibris, which I would highly recommend if anyone's looking for anything. And it was very reasonable as well. So yeah, I've got one, which I'm very excited. I think this is going to be really sad, but I feel like it's also going to be really good. It's only like 300 pages, or less than 300 pages as well. So yeah, I have 2 books, which is a very nice thing to come home to after a bit of a stressful day. Very exciting. So those are the books that I got. Enjoying the stuff I'm reading right now. I will tell you about those in more detail tomorrow when I've like had a bit of a rest, because I feel like I need a bit of a rest. So I'm going to go for now, but I will speak to you tomorrow. Hello, it is Friday morning and I'm here with like a big kind of reading update check-in, I guess, because I feel like I haven't spoken to you guys in days, as I don't tend to when I'm working in the middle of the week. But anyway, a quick kind of overview on what I'm currently reading. I have been reading Family of Liars on my Kindle. This is an uncorrected proof that was sent to me by the publisher, so thank you, Hotkey. They actually also sent me a finished copy of We Were Liars as well, but I read my hardback edition that I've had for years. So I reread We Were Liars last week, and I've been reading this one this week, and it is so good. I feel like this is actually just what I would need right now. I really don't have the time to fit these in, but when I got that kind of letter from Hotkey, I was like, you know what? I remember really liking We Were Liars when I read it before, and it would be such a cool experience to be able to reread it. And they also set up a Discord chat for people doing this little read along. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna join. I'm now 60% of the way through Family of Liars, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's really good. It follows Carrie, who is one of the moms. I think it might be the main character's mom, who I read it last week and I can't remember the main character's name in We Were Liars, but it's her mom. And it's like years before, so it's when basically she was the same age as the main character in We Were Liars, whatever she's called. And it's basically like kind of it's not a similar story, but like it has a very similar feeling to it because it's on the island and stuff. But it is essentially like another kind of psychological thriller. There's ghosts. I really like it. I think it's really good. I think it's really interesting seeing something from her perspective years before, and also seeing like all of the other characters, like the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and stuff from We Were Liars as like younger people, which is really interesting. And one of the other things, I just love the setting of these books because it is like an island that's off the coast. It's near Martha's Vineyard. And it's a little island, and it just has this like real summery atmosphere to it, which I love because the weather is really nice right now, and I also feel like I really need a holiday. So being able to read something like that is actually pretty cool, and I feel like it's very visual and I can really kind of see myself there and see the atmosphere there, which is really nice. It also kind of reminds me of The Cousins by Caroline McManus, because I mean kind of similar genre, but also like that's set on an island. So yeah, very much enjoying that. I'm glad I'm reading it, glad I joined the buddy read, hoping to maybe finish it today. My Kindle is telling me I only have like half an hour left, and I don't know how true that is, but I am getting through it very fast. It's a very quick read. I think it's about 100 pages longer than We Were Liars in like physical format, but it's very quick to read, and I just loving reading on my Kindle. I don't really read on my Kindle a lot, but it's just really nice to just have that like experience of just holding it so light and just easy. So I am enjoying that. I've also been reading The Gifts That Bind Us by Caroline O'Donoghue, and I'm really enjoying this too. I'm reading this on audio, and I honestly think I'm enjoying it more than the first book in the series, which I read physically. And when I saw the audio for this, I was like, okay, well I didn't read the first one, so I'm not sure how it's going to be in audio format, but I'm really enjoying this on audio. I think it's really well done. It's also really capturing my attention, and like I feel like I remember at the end of All Our Hidden Gifts, the first book, getting a little bit like confused about what was going on, whereas actually reading this on audio, and I'm nearing the end now, I'm not confused at all. I'm really like not struggling to understand anything. Do you really like this cover as well? I really like this edition. But yeah, really liking this series. I never looked up whether there's going to be more or not in this series, but I guess we'll find out when I get to the end and there's like a cliffhanger or something. Oh no, hang on, final book in the trilogy coming soon. I was just wondering if there was something at the back, so I imagine this is going to end on some kind of cliffhanger. Okay, so it's going to be a trilogy. That's cool. If you like the Raven Boys and you want something Irish, I'd recommend it. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I do also need to get back to Noah's Gold at some point. I don't have a bookmark in, so God knows where I was. I think I was about 150 pages. I was about halfway through. I will get back to this weekend once I've finished Family of Liars. And then also I really want to get to What Time Is Love by Holly Williams, which is another proof copy I have, which sounds so good. This sounds so good. I don't know if I've mentioned this in this vlog yet, but it's following Violet and Albert, who meet all the time. Like, they meet over the decades and they're always 20 when they meet, so I think it's like a kind of time travel, and it's like, it says like for fans of like One Day and things like that, so their lives keep colliding but it's never like quite right, I don't think, and there's always kind of differences in the world. So they're forced to question what if they met the right person at the wrong time. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be, but I really like the concept, I really like it. So hoping to start reading that by the end of this vlog, and you can see some of my initial thoughts and feelings on that. But yeah, I'm going to go do some uni work now, and I would like to try and kind of read outside for some of the day, because it is nice weather, although it's kind of going overcast now. It's quite warm here, so I would like to read some of Family of Liars outside if I can, but right now, uni work for like most of the day. Hello, it is Saturday night, so it is the next day, and believe it or not, I have read or finished 3 books since I last spoke to you, which is crazy, but I stayed up quite late last night to finish Family of Liars, which I really enjoyed actually. I feel like they were kind of like the exact books I needed right now, because they are just like easy, quick thrillers. I really liked it. I thought it was really good, and I got to a point where I couldn't really stop reading because I wanted to know what was happening. Also, my Kindle was telling me that I only had like half an hour left, and I didn't. It took me a lot longer. It probably took me like an hour from that point. Yeah, but I don't know. I was like, sure, I only have half an hour left. I'll just finish it, and then it took me longer, but it was still good. It was still quick, very quick to get to, very fast paced. Yeah, quite enjoyed it. I don't think I'll give it 5 stars. It definitely wasn't like amazing, but it was what I needed. Very quick read, and I love the atmosphere of both of those books. I think that's like one of my favourite things, like the psychological thriller, the atmosphere, the like location of the beach and the island and stuff. Really liked it. I don't really like the characters, but I also don't think you're meant to. I think you're meant to kind of like relate to them on some level, but not like them because, you know, they do bad things. They're liars. But it was also really interesting to see it from the parents' perspective in We Were Liars, or from We Were Liars. So yeah, quite enjoyed that, and I finished that one late last night. I then picked Noah's Gold back up today, and I finished Noah's Gold. I was about halfway through this morning. Me and Amy have been at an event all day, but it's been quite quiet, so I did manage to read the rest of this at the event on and off. This one, obviously being a kid's book as well, is quite easy to read. And I found it quite easy to read when there was like a lot of distractions and stuff, so I was just picking up and reading occasionally. Again, this one didn't like blow my mind, but I must say it was hilarious, and that was one of my favourite things about it. A great adventure story, loved the illustrations, and was absolutely hilarious. Made me laugh out loud many times, and I was reading it out to Amy because it's so funny. Like, honestly, I think I've said this, but if your kid likes, or if you like David Williams or Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it's that same kind of like humour and illustration mix, which I quite liked in this. I think I said I have read something by Frank Cottrell Boyce before, and it was years ago. I also said I think that I thought this was set in North Wales because his last book, well, the other book I read by him was, it is set in Ireland. And it took me a long time to realise that. I should have realised that a lot earlier. But yeah, there was a lot that I liked about this. It was very adventure-y, and it was a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be great for a lot of children. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. Probably another 4 out of 5 stars there. And then I also finished The Gifts That Bind Us by Caroline O'Donoghue, and this is the second book in a series I think I've talked about before in this video, and I've been listening to this one on audiobook, and yeah, I finished it on the drive home tonight. So that is another one that I've finished. So that is all 3 books that I finished. Again, I really liked The Gifts That Bind Us. I definitely think my experience was somehow improved by reading it on audio. I read the first book physically, and although I did enjoy it a lot and I did obviously carry on with the series, I think I enjoyed the second one more, and I have a feeling that that is partly due to the fact I listened to the audiobook. There was something about it that I just really enjoyed. So yeah, really liked that. If you're again looking for something witchy, tarot magic but set in Ireland, I would recommend. Also has a little bit of like found family aspect, and is quite unpredictable, which I quite enjoyed. Didn't really know what was going on. Did get a bit messy towards the end, same as I remember the first book being, but I did still enjoy it. So the next one I'm going to pick up is What Time Is Love by Holly Williams. This comes out later this month, and it's a romance that is set over the years, and these two people are always 20 when they meet, but they meet in like loads of different years. So I'm quite excited to see where this one goes. I think it's gonna like be in a lot of different places as well, maybe in the UK, so, or maybe across the world, I don't know. But I will update you more on this once I've read a bit more, and I'm gonna start a new audiobook tomorrow, but I will talk to you about that tomorrow. So I will see you then. Hi and welcome to the end of the vlog. I thought I would just pop in and tell you what I've been reading today. I didn't really get any reading done of What Time Is Love. I've literally only read like 20 pages, but I have started Breakneck Point, which is a thriller by T. Orr Munro that has come out. It came out in April 2022, but this was sent to me by HQ, the publisher. So thank you to HQ and to HarperCollins for sending me this edition, which is pretty cool because it says evidence never lies, and then I don't know if you can see that, it says but people do. So this one follows a crime scene investigator who is Ali Diamond, who is kicked off the major investigations team after a corruption in the ranks that she actually exposed in court, and she finds herself stuck with petty crimes on the North Devon coast. But then there is a body of a young woman which is found in the seaside town of Biddicombe, and Ali is following the evidence wherever it leads, and then it also follows the murderer. So it is pretty good so far. I am quite enjoying it. I've been listening to the audiobook today, and I must say it's quite chilling. I also like that it's in North Devon because it is a place I've been and I recognise the place names of as well. But yeah, I reckon I'm about 75 pages in, maybe. Yeah, I'm about here. So I've been listening to the audiobook so far, which is pretty good. And yeah, looking forward to seeing where this one goes because I feel like it's one that I could really get drawn into it and really want to find out what is happening in it. So I will be reading more of this one in next week's vlog, which I hope you will join me in. But for now, I will say bye. I hope you enjoyed this weekly reading vlog. It's been a little different with the event I've been at this weekend, which was pretty cool to attend. It's been really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here, so I will see you in another video. Bye.